Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another drizzly edition of Saturday morning long run. So it's been a bit of a rough week this week for training for me, so just apologise for not getting a video out for a little while, or at least a running video anyway. But as you probably saw from the other day, I've had one of the flus that's seemingly going around at the moment, and I've still got a bit of a bad chest and my voice sounds a bit demonic, but other than that I'm feeling right as rain, which is good. So had a shorter week this week. I only did one workout this week. I missed Tuesday and didn't do the 1k reps and just did the threshold run on Thursday, which went surprisingly well. Take a look for yourself. It's 5 by 1 mile repeats at threshold pace, so I'm going to aim for 6:18 to 6:25, something like that. Just keep it nice and consistent, nice and smooth. Take it rep by rep. I've just had a 2 mile warm up. I didn't feel too bad on the warm up, but now I've stopped, I can feel the chestiness. I'll leave it like that. I'll spare you the gruesome details, but I'm going to give it a crack anyway. I'm on my own tonight. Andy is coming out, but he's doing his own thing tonight. He's got a race on Sunday, so he's tapering this evening, so he's just going to be doing a gentle run. But he did say he's going to do some filming for me, so that'll be good. But I'll check in with you guys shortly after each rep. So it's 5 by 1 mile, 1 minute recovery. So let's see how it goes. Okay, good start. Rep number 1 done. 6:13 average pace. Max heart rate 174. Good start. Rep number 2. 6:11 pace. And heart rate spiked at 175, just coming up the last bit of hill there. So I'm pleased with that. Going well so far. I'm worn out though. Until I haven't run for a few days, but we'll keep going. 2 down, 3 to go. You're meant to be tapering.
I am, mate. What's your rep 3 time?
Say again.
What was your rep 3 time?
6:14.
Amazing.
Heart rate's not gone above 175 yet.
Brilliant.
Which is good.
I mean,
So that was 5 by 1 mile. Somewhat surprised me, that did. So each mile rep was somewhere between 6:09 and 6:13 pace, and my heart rate didn't go above 175. Really quite chuffed with how that went. It was consistent, heart rate was good, so surprised me a little bit. But back on the long run today. Mileage is going to be a bit short this week, so I'm going to see if I can get to 20 today, 20 miles, and see if I can get the mileage up to 30. I've been doing 35 miles a week for the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks. So if I can get up to 30, I'll be happy today. No chance I'm running 25 miles today. But I've been promising you guys who am I, what's my running background video for a while. So today's the day. I'll share with you guys my running experiences, my running background, and let you in on and show you guys what sort of things I've been doing, what my background is, what my history is, and some of my anticipations for this year. I'll check in with you in a bit. So it's finally stopped raining. It's just like misty drizzle stuff now, which I can cope with that. That's not so bad. But so I guess start from the beginning. So for me, I've always been into sport. From about the age of 4, I was playing rugby. touch rugby, and played rugby right up until I was maybe sort of 16, 17. I ran for the school, so I used to do 800 and 1600 metres for the school in the county. I used to do cross country, and I guess that's where my athletic ability started from. Sorry, it's a bit windy, so I'm not sure you can hear me properly. And then from doing cross country, I was doing Olympic style weightlifting with my school. So they had a qualified teacher that did classes weekly, so I'd do that. Fortunate enough to go to Bisham Abbey, which at the time was where people like the England football team were training. This is like back end of the 90s now, and I was training with the British weightlifting team as part of their Commonwealth Games squad, so that's quite exciting. Then from there I became a late teenager and discovered vices in life and sort of fell off the boil from sport really. And it was only May 2015, so nearly 3 years ago, I picked up running. And the only reason I picked up running was because my boss at the time entered a 10k, and me being the competitive soul that I am, thought I could go one better, so I entered a half marathon. So signed up to do the autumn forest half marathon, and set about training, and went for no real time. I had no real idea about training and that sort of thing. So for me then it was just a case of running as fast as I could for as far as I could. No real structure, 2-3 times a week. Try and do a longer run on a weekend. And I ran a 1:47 half marathon. I think the autumn course around here is about 11 or 1200 feet of elevation, so that was a solid start and a good place to build from. So from there came a spate, I guess, of half marathons. I've never ran anything competitively that's shorter than a half marathon distance. I tell you, I did a local, I think it's 5 miles. That was with Andy and the local running club, and but that's the only thing I've done that's competitive, lower than a half marathon. So I've only ever done 2 road races. Everything else I've done has been on trails, and I'm a bit of a trail warrior, I guess. I prefer the scenic sort of routes and the challenge of hills and mud and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not sure if that's just because I used to play rugby and cross country and I'm used to it, or whether that's just because of where I live. It's probably a combination of both. But I did run Gloucester Marathon. That was my first foray into marathon running. That was concrete. So that was marathon number 1. That was August 2016, I think. So it didn't take long to jump from half marathons to marathons. And then last year I was fortunate enough to get into the ballot into London. So I ran London Marathon last year. That was April 2017, and PB 3:11, which is ace. That was probably for maybe 18 or 19 miles the best run of my life, and was going superbly well, and then started to get cramp in both the bottom of my feet, which is the weirdest place to get cramp. But debilitating. So I and then moved on and did a trail marathon in October last year. It was meant to be my first 50k, but Marshall sent us all the wrong way and we missed out something like 3.5 miles and about 1,000 feet of climbing, which at the time didn't think much of it, but I feel shortchanged by that. And yeah, wasn't too pleased about that the following days, but it was still a marathon and it was still trails, so 5,000 feet of climbing, 26.8 miles. So then that brings us up to this year. Right, so this year then I am booked on to do, the Newport Half Marathon with Andy in March. That's March the 4th. So that'll be a fast, PB-able road half marathon. That's what all this training's been for. I'm also booked to do the Snowdonia Marathon, which is another road marathon, but it's 2,500 to 3,000 feet of climbing, which makes it a unique road marathon. It's been voted Britain's most scenic marathon, so it's one I've had my eye on for a while. Was one of the 3,000 that were fortunate enough to get a spot this year, so that's race number 2 I'm booked on. And then there's a race, a 15-mile trail race that I want to do in June, which is a nice early summer race. Not sure what else the plans are from there really. So needless to say, Snowdonia is my A race this year, unless something else crops up, but at the moment that's my main focus, which is October. So I've got a long time to go, I know, but I really want to, but it's going to be an interesting race, because at the moment I'm feeling sort of 3:05 marathon pace at the moment. I'm feeling fit enough to run that, so by the time I get to October I've got no excuses. But because of the elevation in the race, it might mean that I can run maybe a 3:20 marathon, which would still be an epic achievement. So I'm going to train with that in mind. I'm going to look forward to summer training. It's going to be probably a 16-week plan, a bit more fun because it'll be light, so be on the trails a bit more often, well, all the time rather than a bit more often, with a bit of hill work. So it's going to be completely different to this fast running up and down the industrial estate at night that you've seen over the course of the last sort of 8 weeks or so. But I'm about 15 miles into this run now, so I'm going to crack on and I'll catch